Hello Heinzl crew and welcome to a very special month on my channel that's called Vaultober. Eek! What's that? Vaultober is all about reimagined ideas from the Heinzl vault. It's looking at old ideas with fresh eyes. Throughout October, we'll revisit past projects, breathe new life into forgotten favorites, and let them inspire brand new creations. You will find reimagined versions of classic projects, creative twists on techniques, and plenty of surprises, including freebies, whoop whoop, special discounts, and brand new printables created especially for Vaultober 2025. So, how does this thing work? I have created a special Vaultober calendar waiting for you on my website. And each day in October, starting today, a new door unlocks and reveals the idea of the day. So be sure to check back daily. But I will also post on my socials as soon as the next door is open for you. So what's behind such a door, you might ask? I've curated 27 ideas from the Heinzl Vault. That's projects I created and shared in the past. That means that behind most of the calendar doors, you will find reposts of older projects from my creative vault. This gives you the perfect chance to rediscover ideas you may have missed before, or perhaps simply forgotten. If you have a fish brain like I do, that might have happened as well. I'm just kidding. And you can use them now as fresh inspiration for your own work. But that's not all. There are also plenty of surprises waiting for you throughout the month, so it's definitely worth opening every single door, because behind those doors there are also things you have never seen before, even on the repost doors. And on my video days, you will get something extra special. Brand new videos inspired by the previous day's repost. I will revisit the old idea then and give it a new twist, showing you how to transform it into something fresh and exciting. And of course, I would love for you to join in, recreate old ideas in your own style, mix them with new ones, and share your creations with the Heinzl crew. So grab your supplies and let's open the vault. There's a whole month of inspiration waiting for you. So today I want to do something which I haven't done for ages, and to be honest, I have absolutely no idea what I need to do what I want to do. A very, very long time ago, I created a printable which is called GELLI BRAILLE LEAVES. And as you perhaps can see, these are leaves which you can fuzzy cut, and when you look very close, you can see that these were created from some braille paper. And I'm assuming, to be honest, I can't remember. My fish brain doesn't give me the information how I exactly did it. And I haven't recorded a video about how I did these papers where I then made these leaves from. I can't remember how I did that, but the name of the printable says GELLI BRAILLE LEAVES. So I'm assuming that I did these on my jelly plate 150 years ago approximately. Perhaps you might know that I have given away my jelly plate for some different reasons. So what I want to do today is I want to try to recreate what I have done here. And then later on I want to cut these out. I also want to show you how you can do that if you don't have the nerves to take scissors and cut this out. But obviously you could cut them with scissors. But first of all, I want to make some backgrounds and I want to try to recreate what I did here. And I want to try to make something like a leaf card in the end, like a journaling card with leaves. So let's see if that can work. I have some brown braille paper here. If you don't have braille paper, by the way, you can of course also use a regular sheet of paper. Yeah, please use whatever you want, whatever you have. You could take an embossed paper. There are also embossing folders available which have little dots or so, obviously not like this, yeah, but I have one folder in mind. Wait, perhaps I can quickly show you which one I mean. I'm talking about this folder here by Zizix and Tim Holz, and I think Zeth Epter and Zizix did a really cool design as well a few weeks, months or so back. With little like dot thingies. I don't have that one, so I can't show it to you, but I think you can imagine what I mean when I say take an embossing folder. You could even take something without dots and something like floral or so. Yeah, use what you want, even stars or spider webs or whatever would work for something like this. So then if you don't have the braille paper, you would obviously take a normal paper and then emboss that with the folder, yeah, or use a flat paper. But to be honest, with a flat paper, which is not embossed, the things would look a little bit different, yeah, obviously, because I want to use the feature of the paper that it has these raised areas here in a second, but you will see what I mean. But that doesn't mean that you can't make a nice background if you don't have braille paper or if you don't have an embossing folder, yeah. So I want to use some archival ink first. This is black soot, but you could also use another color. And then I'm just taking my ink pad. And I do this. Because that gives the perfect background for either something you want to put on there or for these leaves. Here on the left side, I want to take some ground espresso because I want to see how that looks when it's a little bit more brown instead of black. Please check out the link in the description box. There's the Vaultober calendar linked for you, and I can tell you it's definitely worth to check that out because there might be some surprises for you. So I want to leave this as it is, and for these I thought I want to do it a little differently. And for that, it's necessary that we have a permanent ink in the first step, because otherwise we would make a pretty big mess. Ooh, why is this so intense? Why is it so extremely grungy here? That is probably coincidence. I have absolutely no idea. Ah, look! Oh, look! When we go over this more often in one spot, we can get something like this. How cool! Oh my goodness, how cool is that? I like that even better. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Can we quickly compare this? I mean, holy moly, that is way more interesting. I haven't expected that. So let's do that here as well. Let's dry this. I want to take an oxide / ink pad and go over this. I have decided for tea dye, rusty hinge and speckled egg. Unfortunately, I only have, ink-wise, I only have tea dye. The rest is oxide, but, the rest of the colors are oxide ink, but who cares? We use what we have. And then we can just do it like this. I also want to add some oxide ink. Ooh, stay here, rusty hinge. And I've chosen these colors because I thought those fit well to these. Let's go on with speckled egg. And what I also can remember is when I made these, I've thrown this on. I'm very, very sure that I had this there already in my craft room. Is this the one which is clogged? No. Oh. If you don't have this, you could also take some distress spritz, for example, or the tarnished brass spray by Ranger and Tim. So I will put this aside to dry. And I think when I made these, I didn't have so many sprays in my stash like I do have today. So that's probably the reason why I did that with the ink pads and the oxide ink pads. But what I thought was, since I now have a few sprays and perhaps you only have sprays and no ink pads, let's spray some of this on. I will add a little bit of water first so that this doesn't get so intense that it moves better on the paper. This is Rusty Hinge. I will also add now more water so that I don't get this speckly look, but you know, a nice coverage. And obviously when you add water, you also don't need so much of the spray because, you know, this is pretty intense, and then you can just do it like this. This is tea dye. Oh, I have this color new. Why the heck have I, oh my goodness. Where have you been all my life? Tea dye spray stain. Oh, wonderful. So then let's add a little bit of speckled egg oxide spray on top. Yeah, now I want speckles, so I'm trying to, this is already pretty empty. Let's do it like this. If this wasn't so empty already, I would just press this thing down very slowly. I think you know this trick, so that you get these little, yeah, like splatters instead of full, you know. What's that called? The portion of the, you know, how is that called in English? If I would press this down completely and fast, and then one comes out here. What's the word for that? I have absolutely no idea. We're going to make one more. So I'm going to start with speckled egg this time. Oh, water. This is the spray stain. Ooh, I really like this. Do I have another bottle of this? I mean, why is this? It looks like there was still a little bit in. Oh yes, in there. Oh, okay, if I press completely, then it comes out. That's good. Where is my new best friend, tea dye? So on the other one, we had a lot of the rusty and tea colors, and here I wanted, you know, in the opposite way, more of the speckled egg and less of this. Let's also add a little bit of this gold. Okay, this bottle is not my friend. So I'm quickly going to dry these with my heat tool. So they are not completely dry yet, but I thought while we let them dry completely, we can already cut the leaves out and talk about those. And what we can see here is that this looks absolutely amazing. I'm so in love with this effect. And you can see you can create a lot of different vibes with using some different colors. I think this is my favorite. But what we also can see is that we don't only have this cool front side here, but we have something really amazing on the back side as well. Not only on this one, but also on the others. That is, on the one hand, really amazing. On the other hand, it's a little bit sad because obviously we need to decide for either the back or the front side. Yeah, if we think, okay, I like the back side way better, use the back side. But if you glue that to a card or so, then you would lose this side, or you would need to find a way to make both sides visible by, you know, adding a little frame around, or use some acetate or so and make a little like sleeve and put that in between of two pieces of acetate or so, then you would see both sides. The possibilities are endless. But what I also like about this is, if you look at it like so, wait, let me take this out of the way, you can see that this and this matches pretty well. Yeah, so if you would think, ooh, junk journal page, pocket, make more, yeah, and use, for example, yeah, well, you could even say I cut 2/3 of the page off, like so, and make a junk journal page from that, yeah, just by, you know, folding it like so. Then you have the page, and this third, take it the other way around and make a pocket, which then goes on this page. I mean, could you get a better match? I don't think so. And I find that very interesting. And that also means, I mean, I'm a smart junk journaler and I'm a really smart YouTuber as well. Go to the Vaultober page on my website. You will find freebies, okay, of these pages. I made freebies from these. Yeah. I took some photos and I've put those as freebies to the Vaultober page, and there you can download them, and then you don't have to decide which site you want to use, and you have something from this video on your desk as well. I thought that is perhaps a nice surprise. So then I will put these aside. Let's then talk about these leaves. So one possibility for a fuzzy cutting ephemera pack like this is of course take your scissors and cut these out with your scissors. Now you might think, what the heck has she done? Because here are so many tiny details. Do the following trick if you think, I don't have the nerves to cut these details out. Hold the scissors just in one place. Don't move the scissors, but move the paper. And then do this. And you will get a cool leaf in the end. And I use the original shape of this only as a little guideline where to wiggle and cut. Do you know what I mean? So that I don't get 100% the shape of this. Yes, that's true, but who cares? For my idea, I don't even need these little guys here. And when you do that, you can see you have the tiniest little bit of the ink from your printer left here, and you have the perfect leaf. Why are my hands so dirty? I have no idea. While I will cut out another one, I want to tell you something about this thing here on my channel, which is called Vaultober. Today is the 5th of October, right? And this is the first video you see here. So that means this year is my old idea. When I made these papers, I made the braille paper as well, and then I made this digital. So there's no post on the Vaultober page from yesterday, obviously, because yesterday this hasn't even started, okay? But tomorrow and also today, obviously, yeah, today you will find this, what we are doing here right now, on the Vaultober page, where this little door with the 5 is. And tomorrow you will find another project there. And tomorrow's project is also an old project. And you will find a repost on the Vaultober page. There, where the little door is with the number 6. And then, the day after tomorrow, so that's then Tuesday, that's a video day, where I have a new video here on my channel. So that means, on Tuesday, I will revisit the idea I've posted on Monday. And then, in the video on Tuesday, we are going to put a little twist to that idea and turn it into something new. So that means on each day, which is before my video days, you will find an idea which we then revisit in the video on the next day. Does that make sense? But there's always on each day from today until October 31st, a new post, and that is either then a repost of an old project with some freebies, some surprises, some additional information, things, you know, I collected for that theme and where I thought that could be a nice source of inspiration for you. And then on the video days, so for example today or also on Tuesday, I will then summarize everything I did here. We will then find the video there, and sometimes, not on every day, but sometimes you will also find freebies there. You know, today you will find freebies there, as I just told you. But, you know, when you see the videos, it's worth to go to that page because I will put also some additional things on there, like photos and, as I said, the freebies, discount codes for printables. So if you want to have this, you can find it there. And I'm really hoping that you like that and that you also enjoy those discounts. It's a lot. It's 50% off. 50% off. I hope you like that. I wanted to give you something back because you do so much for me, and I thought I want to do something special, and I thought October is a month where we all come back to the craft room somehow and, you know, make a tea or having, you know, like a cozy atmosphere here. Summer is finished. I'm somehow a little bit happy about that, because then when you put the arm to the table and you lift it up, the paper is not sticking to the arm anymore because you're not sweating anymore. That's really cool. So I thought this is a nice thing to have a special month with special surprises. So then, what I wanted to show you is, because I know that some people might have problems with fuzzy cutting. These are, I would say, pretty simple shapes, but I also don't know anything about your health issues, yeah? Because from the past, I often heard, fuzzy cutting, that is so difficult for me, I can't handle that, I need another solution. And that is what I want to show you now. And even if you don't have problems with fuzzy cutting, it could be a nice addition for this thing, especially with the leaves. So for that, I'm going to take here my little machine, and I learned to spritz water on here. I feel very weird about that, but Tim said that makes that... Oh, I can do the same thing like he did in one of the last videos. I can lift my things here up. How cool is that? So what I want to do is I want to use this die cut set here. The number is 665559. This is by Zizix and Tim Holtz. And I love these leaves. And what you obviously could do is take one of these images and look which of these, and to be honest, I have not tried that out before, before I started recording, because I thought this is a genius idea. Let's just do it instead of trying it out. So you could look which leaf would fit on here. First I want to show you one example where the leaf fits completely on here. Yes, there is a little bit of waste of ink from the printer, but you know, if you cut this out from a paper pad or so, you would waste the paper a little bit as well. Do you know what I mean? So then, put this in between here. Obviously, you will then get a different shape than the original leaf is, but on the one hand, it's faster. You don't need your scissors. You have something really cool as well. You could even think, I can cut this out, yeah, with my scissors, cut this additionally, put this on here, or make an arrangement with the others which don't have these holes. Oh, this is a little bit matchy, but you know, you could even, I think we will ink them in a second so that they stand out a little bit more so that we can see the shapes better. But I thought that is a nice idea to yeah, make our lives a little easier and get a little more of a variation into this. So let's perhaps do another one. I think this one here. Ooh, this looks like it was made for this, even if I didn't have any idea about these die cuts when I made these leaves for the printable. So then we have this, and as you can see, it's a little bit offset here, but isn't this just cool? I mean, you could, you could, I mean, okay, wait. Luise, brain. This is a message to my brain. Dear brain, please do the things a little slower. Otherwise, I can't speak. I can't speak in the speed you produce ideas. So let's slow down a little bit. First, my brain tells me, this looks cool because it's white. It's an unusual thing somehow. And if you have something where you say, I want to use this and put this on here, but I don't want to ink this, this automatically stands out a little bit better than it would if it wouldn't have the white edge. The other thing is, you could add color here with ink or so. You could make this gold, yeah, and you have a really nice little, yeah, somehow guide where you could color this in a color you want. Or, and that's what my brain just told me, why don't we use this line to manipulate the shape of the die cut? I mean, why not? Oh, I love this. Okay, and then, yeah, here already happened what I originally wanted to show you, but let's make that with a leaf. Let's do that again with a leaf, which is obviously not close to the shapes of these. Yeah, so if we take a quick little look at the packaging of these, we can see that none of these has a shape like this. But I thought, what if we, this is too big, take one of these and put this just on here like so, because then we know there are these white spaces underneath. And what if we then just cut that? Can that give a nice result, or will that look like we had no idea what we are doing here? Oh, it looks fantastic. Oh my goodness. Give me a second to take this out. Oh! This is even a little bit like winter, isn't it? With the white. Okay, so it's already the next day. I had some sleep and some special junk journal medicine. And with that, you can see I could come a few steps further, and I also found an idea which I think is very interesting in combination with these leaves, and I want to try that out now together with you. All of these are inked now. I've also cut some of these in black because I thought it could be helpful here and there. We will try that out in a second. When we have something like a little shadow layer. From cutting these, I got the thought, what if you don't have these die cuts and you want to make a shadow layer for your leaves as well? Take a black piece of paper. This is just a thin paper that doesn't need to be very thick. And then just hold this like so and cut around here. You could cut it in exactly the same size like the leaf is, but why? To stress yourself. And then if you don't have these die cuts and you want to also have some of the leaves with holes and some which are solid, you could do the following thing. Just take a punch. I have two different sizes here. Is that necessary? No, but you know, I want to give you some examples and just do something like this. It's different, but it's cool. And if you then made such a shadow layer, oh, excuse me, please, and you punch in here, you also have the chance to do it like this, and then you even have the black on the leaf, which gives another nice little addition. Okay, so then I thought, when I thought about the black layers, it would perhaps be a good thing to first find an arrangement for these, and for that I need something else, because I'm thinking I want to make my life pretty easy. So I take these and I'm thinking even here we could do it like this. Let me show you that example as well. If you don't want to cut the black layer from with the die cuts, you could also do it like this. And I like that it then also gives another shape somehow, and you can with that customize the die cuts and also these fuzzy cut images. So then I thought, consider a feather. Feathers are in the most cases like so. Take this, take your fingernail tool and just do it like this. It will not fall apart. Well, at least it didn't fall apart with all of the feathers I used and, you know, did this. And then this is pretty flat. So that we then, and I also want to do it a little bit like this, so that we then can take this and put this here, because I think this is absolutely amazing. This looks like autumn fog when these feathers are over the leaves. Can you see that? That looks so nice when it's here like translucent. And then I take my stapler because I want to make my life easy and it's hard to glue feathers. And now I want to staple again, but I want to have in mind that this will later on go on the background, meaning this paper here. So I decide for a spot where I want to add a quote later, and that's where I staple. Just like this. If now you do this and it feels like a wiggly woggly, just take a little bit of glue, put the glue behind here, and just with a few dots of glue you can then glue that together. But I find it really handy to use the stapler first, because then this can't move around so much anymore. So here we go. I made a few more off camera. I'm absolutely in love with these. Okay, so then I have these left over because I want to do something with them in a second when I add the quotes here. And for the quotes, I thought I want to use, why do I have this stamp set in my hands? I'm so sorry. I want to use this here, Tiny Frieds CMS 468 by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. And I want to use autumn vibes on all of the cards. I will stamp with ground espresso on Geilink. So then I want to try to overcome a little bit of my perfectionism. Funny, Luise. And try to cut these out with my scissors instead of my paper trimmer. So then I'm going to take these and glue them to a piece of brown paper, because I think that gives a nice addition. And then I will cut them out again. And that way, I'm so sorry, that way they get this little brown frame and stand out a little more when we now put them on here. These I want to put behind here now, and I've left them loose until now because I think that way we can see better where they would make sense, instead of having these, you know, these tiny leaves lost somehow on the arrangement and then we have no idea what we are doing. At least in my head it was easier to imagine when I do it like this. These could also work great as tuck spots or on pockets, or you could glue them to belly bands or whatever. Then I place this here, decide for the width, and yes, they will all become a different size later, but I want that exactly like that. And with the help of this thing on here, I can easily determine the size of these papers. And now I want to back these to give them some more interest, and this braille paper is also a little bit flimsy. I wouldn't use this as it is as a journaling card. I'm going to take this and put that aside for a second, and then I take my paper here and some double-sided tape, and this is now, I think, a personal taste how you want to do that. I find that yeah, this is the easiest solution for me, but you could all you could also of course measure the papers and then cut the other layers, but I like it better to do it like this. I glue it on the white paper with my double-sided tape, and then I take my paper trimmer, cut this off, and then I do exactly the same thing for the next layer. And yes, the tape doesn't go until the very edge because I want to sew around these with my sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine, or if you don't want to sew, I would recommend to glue that to the very edges. Otherwise, you know, you could have this like so, and that looks a little unprofessional. Not that it's about looking professional here, but I mean, you know, you don't want that your card falls apart, obviously. And then I can take this and glue this on here where I want it to be. For that, I'm going to take some bookbinders glue. So here I'm back from my sewing machine. I'm absolutely in love with how these turned out. So cool. And now, what about some splatters? And I'm really hoping that you like this little idea. You can find photos, all of the links, the freebies, everything on the Vaultober page on my website. The link is down below in the description box. And tomorrow you can visit that page again, and then you can open the next door there. Yeah, well, without me then, yeah, you have to do it by your own, because tomorrow there will be no video here, but you will find the Vaultober content behind door number 6. And then that is something, that is something really special, at least to me. It's connected to my heart, and yeah, it's also connected to you in a special way. So stay tuned for that, and be sure that it's something really sweet and cute, and sweet in the truest sense of the word. But I don't want to say more, because, you know, I want to keep the excitement for tomorrow. And the day after tomorrow, that is then on Tuesday, you will then find another video here on the channel, where I then will revisit the idea you have seen tomorrow. Yeah? And then we will do something with that idea with a little new twist and in a little different way. While I'm recording this, I even have something in mind for Tuesday, which I definitely need to try out in a second, because I just can't resist. And if that works, then I will have something really, really cool for you then as well. I can't promise that now, because, you know, when I have finished the video and made the photos and finished all of this here for the page as well, and with the freebies and so on, then I need to try that out. So I'm not a fortune teller, I can't see it now, but I want to try that. And if that works, then we will have something even cooler additionally to the video on Tuesday. So I'm really hoping that you like this, and perhaps you want to try this out with your own materials, and perhaps you want to add your own twist to this. And I'm really surprised how these really pretty old leaves from the printable, I mean the leaves themselves are not old, but the printable is already pretty old. I'm really surprised how these came out, and that is obviously also because sometimes you realize that you have learned some things over the past years, and when you then can include those things and your new skills, then you can come up with something which surprises you and where you think, oh, that is way better than I thought. So with that, I'm leaving you alone with your own ideas, and I'm hoping that you will visit the Vaultober page tomorrow, and that we then will see the day after tomorrow. Bye!